Friends, what is up? Greg Newmaster here, coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have the 2020 G.I. Joe Retro Collection 3.75 inches Snake Eyes. This is basically a remake of the 2011 Pursuit of Cobra version of Snake Eyes. Which, in my opinion, is the best G.I. Joe figure ever made. And this is just a reissue and a repaint. But the figure was so amazing and the price was so low, I just had to pick up this one too, even though it's virtually identical to the 2011 Pursuit of Cobra. But I'm really happy that they put out this retro line. People have complained on my previous videos that it's not exactly retro. Granted, it's not the same mold as the original G.I. Joes, which I'm fine with because I like these newer sculpts better. I like the articulation, the sculpt, and the detail just looks way better. And the accessories are insane, and also the articulation is insane. I think these figures have the best articulation on a 3.75 figure, and I really wish that with the Star Wars Vintage Collection, they would model them after these G.I. Joes in the sense that they have multiple points of wrist articulation, they have double jointed knees, they have torso articulation, which many of the Star Wars figures don't have. And granted, I know that the Star Wars figures are a little bit different. Typically, the Jedis are wearing a lot of cloth, and it kind of looks bad in the sculpt. But I prefer more articulation, and these figures are just phenomenal. But anyhow, on to G.I. Joe. Once again, I'm not an expert on G.I. Joe, so please don't get upset with me. However, I played with the toys growing up. I didn't really watch the cartoon too much, not obsessively like I did with Thundercats or He-Man or Ninja Turtles. G.I. Joe in terms of the cartoon was always sort of the last tier, but the figures were phenomenal, and everybody always had the figures because they were just great figures. Even for their time, in my opinion, they were the most articulated figures. They always had the waist articulation that was held together by the rubber band. They always had multiple points of articulation in the elbows. They had bicep swivel. They had the hips had full movement because they were held together by that rubber band and that little hook. Just neck articulation, because the neck on the heads were always off of a ball joint, so you always had great movement there. And then they were vehicle friendly because of their scale. They were small. You could always just have tons of vehicles, which is what I love about Star Wars as well, which is why I'm really anti 6-inch figures, unless they're highly detailed and articulated, like the Mayfex or the SH Figuarts Star Wars figures. I may get some 6-inch versions of those, maybe, but I'm die-hard 3.75 scale for Star Wars and for G.I. Joes, mainly because of the vehicles, because you have vehicles that are awesome and look amazing and that can go to scale with the figure. So on to Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes by far, in my opinion, is the coolest G.I. Joe. I believe if you look at any readers' polls and they say the, top 10 G.I. Joe characters, Snake Eyes is normally number one. I mean, and what's not to love? He's a ninja. He has tons of cool weapons. He has a ninja arch nemesis who is Storm Shadow. So it's sort of like the Ken versus Ryu, the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. Even like I think Deadpool sort of referenced his image from him. The creator of Deadpool took Snake Eyes and took elements from Snake Eyes and put him into Deadpool. So he's a very influential character. He's a very awesome character, and just always great action figures. I've had at least 6 or 7 Snake Eyes figures growing up. So let's get into this guy. The card looks fantastic. So that's definitely the retro Snake Eyes look. But look at his helmet here. And this is what I don't like about this figure. I haven't opened it up yet, so I don't know. But if you look at the helmet, if they're going for retro, this is not the original helmet of Snake Eyes. This is like the second wave of Snake Eyes, where he sort of has it looks like a knight helmet visor, where here he has like a ski mask and the glasses. So in the 2011 version of the Pursuit of Cobra, they gave you two heads. So they gave you this head, and then they gave you this head. It looks like this one doesn't have that head, but I haven't opened it up yet, so I don't know. So we'll check it out. But the card looks great. It's the retro card, and there it is on the back. So far, we've only gotten these three figures in the wave. Looking forward to these other three. So it looks like Scarlet, Destro, I think his name is, and I want to say his name, I can't remember this guy's name. Forgive me. But here we go. Let's bust him open and see what we got. It's looking like the accessories are exactly the same as the 2011 version. Like I said, minus the additional head. But I don't know. Well, actually, I'm looking at the accessories here, and they actually, okay, so they're painted different. So we have different paint applications compared to the 2011 version. For example, lost a couple guns there. So many. That's why I love these figures, because there's so many accessories that come with them. So I love this here. I mean, he comes with this hardcore flap jacket. Okay, so I'm feeling this guy, and the plastic actually feels a little softer. It feels a little cheaper compared to the 2011 version. Also, the paint application is a matte, where the 2011 version was glossy. And in addition, this version has grays on this vest that he has. So this part is gray. The kneecaps, which are removable, at least on the 2011 version, and they're removable there, they were painted gray on the 2011 version, where they're black here. The straps are painted gray. Yeah, so it seems like the plastic is a little bit cheaper compared to the 2011 version, and it's painted matte instead of a gloss. So I'll show you guys. This is the 2011 version. I don't know if you guys can see that. You'd be able to see it in person, but if you look at his chest, there's a glossy paint on it compared to the new one. Also, the visor. So this is the alternative head sculpt, which looks retro, that came with the 2011 version, but I am not seeing it here in these accessories, which is a bummer. So that's kind of lame that they didn't give you the alternative head sculpt. So also here, this is the head that came on the 2011 version, and it is just like a matching black, where here on the new version we have a matted black around the mask and the cloth, but on the visor it is the glossy paint and it's black. So I mean, I guess depending on what you like, that could be seen as an improvement. Articulation is fantastic. We have the double jointed knees, like I said. We got ankle up and down. There's rotation in the ankles. Got shoulder joints. We could do a full spin, of course. The elbows only go 90 degrees still, unfortunately, but that's okay, because it's really hard to do double jointed elbows in something this small. What else do we got? We got wrist articulation. We can do a full 360 degrees. Along with that, we have the articulation, which I like with characters that come with weapons. He can tilt his hand up and down. So, for example, this Snake Eyes comes with a lot of swords, which are incredibly awesome. He comes with this really long sword. This sword's just like badass. But look, he can point it down, And that's also good for guns. So if you want to pose the figure with guns, he can kind of tilt his hand down instead of the alternate floppy wrist, which would go like that. He can tilt it down, up and down like that, which I really love. So we got that here. So I'll go over the accessories in a moment. I just want to give you guys a good look at the figure. I gotta say, this is an amazing action figure. If you missed out on the 2011 version, which may be costly on eBay, secondary markets, pick this guy up because it's just, I think this is the best G.I. Joe ever made, in my opinion, and I also think he's the best character. So there's like these stretchy elastic wires in the crotch here. I know there's a purpose to this military, in the military, maybe with parachuting or something like that, but I don't know. I wasn't in the military, so maybe somebody who was in the military who understands what these could possibly be for can explain that. But I think it's just cool. It looks cool. It's a cool effect. But yeah, so this comes off, and when you take this off, for those of you who complained that these figures don't look retro enough, that looks more retro. Granted, he's wearing some straps on here, but yeah, like he's wearing sort of like this Kevlar sweater material. He's wearing a turtleneck. Also, we got the really good torso articulation, a little bit different than older versions of G.I. Joes. So here is an old school version of Snake Eyes. This guy came out in like 2000. So this is the old school with the rubber band. If you guys can see that in there, he has the rubber band and then he has the screw like on the back. So there's a screw in there, and you know, I think G.I. Joes were one of the best figures that you could kit bash with. Just take them apart and make other figures out with the parts of your other G.I. Joes. But yeah, so I like this torso articulation. However, I wish they would give the waist swivel as well, just to give you that extra element of articulation. Though it's not necessary, but you know, it's, you know, the Marvel Legends figures have it, and it's just cool. So I'm going to pop this head off. That's what he looks like from the back. There's a little porthole on the back. No, there's no screw in there. There's screws on. So we still maintain some elements of the older G.I. Joes. So there's metal in there, and there's screws on the side of the legs holding it together. A little bit unnecessary, in my opinion. They could just use glue for that. Probably save money, too. But to each their own if that's what they want to do. But I gotta say, like, for these retro figures, the accessories, man, what a selling point. It's so cool. It comes with so many different guns and swords and knives and sheaths for the swords. Like, it's just so cool. So if you guys missed out on the previous one, like I said, pick this guy up. He's only like $12, 15 bucks. So don't miss out on this before they all sell out. I got mine on eBay just because it's easy. You can get them on Amazon too. So look, there's a little knife holder there on this strap. Really awesome. So let's take a look at these accessories. So we get two katanas. I believe those are the longer Japanese swords. Somebody had corrected me. I think Storm Shadow came with a shorter sword. Once again, I'm sorry, I forget what that's called. So here are the sheaths for that sword. So I love this. So these sheaths, they port onto the back, and you put them on just like that, and goes like that, or however you want to do it. My knife sheath keeps falling off. That's a little loose on my figure, but just so you can see, that's what the katanas look like. They're exactly the same, painted silver, really nice, so they don't look generic, and you can just sheathe them in the back like so, and it fits in there nice and snug. It slides in real gently, and then when you get to the top, it fits in there perfectly, like a real sword. So that's really exciting. What else do we got? We have this long sword, like I said, and this is painted all black. Kind of looks like the dark saber in Star Wars, Clone Wars, that the Mandalorian had. It's a really cool looking blade that he has, but there's no sheath for this, so there's nowhere for him to put it. So I guess he just has to carry this guy around all the time. Anyhow, also comes with a stand that says Snake Eyes, says G.I. Joe. That's what it looks like on the bottom. But yeah, we'll put him, there's ports on his heels, so you can port him in there and put him on the stand, but looks great. What else do we got? So he comes with, looks like a little explosive pack there. So he has some bombs. The 2011 version came with all of these same weapons. Like I said, the only difference on this one and the 2011 version is the paint apps, and the quality of the plastic seems just a little bit cheaper, in my opinion. And I don't know if that's because they just painted it different and it's an illusion to me, or it really is cheaper. But comes with 2 knives. So they're really tiny. I'm sorry, my fingers are just so fat. But love this though. Look at this. So there's a knife holder on his ankle, which is wonderful. I mean, like, how cool is this figure? I mean, honestly, like, look at all these different weapons that he comes with. And okay, so that knife is not going into that one, so maybe it doesn't fit there properly. Maybe it's this knife that's supposed to go in. Yeah, so that knife goes in there better. So he has a knife on his ankle, and then he has this knife up top, which I don't know how practical that is, having a knife like right by your face like that. I don't know. It seems a little bit excessive. But so he has 2 knives there. And what else do we got? We have, so he has 2 pistols, and he has a machine gun. And he also comes with 2 silencers, which is really awesome. So at first I thought they were little pipe bombs. But then I discovered there's little ports on the ends of them. And so he comes with 2 silencers. So for any stealth assassination missions he may have. So here's one silencer, and here's his machine gun. No paint apps or anything, so. And then the silencer ports right onto the machine gun, just like that. So isn't that fantastic? Like, look at that. Like, what level of detail and accessories for a 3.75 figure? I mean, it's just mind-blowing. Like, honestly, guys, if you never bought this figure before, I would suggest getting the original one. But if you don't want to pay too much money, pick up this one, because this is I gotta say, this is the best G.I. Joe figure ever made, in my opinion. And they've all been pretty cool so far. But look at that. So we got the silencer on there. We have a gun holder on this side as well. So there's this holster. So that doesn't fit in there. So maybe this smaller gun. So this smaller gun also, there's an additional silencer, as you can see. And that goes on to this small gun, this handgun. And also you can store on this holster, you can store this silencer in that, if I could just get it in there. So you can store the silencer in that holster there. On my other figure, it doesn't stick out like that, but whatever. And then you can holster this gun. So, I mean, this guy, look at that. That's incredible. So this guy is ready for some serious combat. Yeah, so that's all the accessories. Gotta say, this is the coolest G.I. Joe figure ever made. Once again, this is a remake. So I'm going to put him there. Here he is compared with the new Storm Shadow. Arch enemies, which is awesome. Here he is with an older version of Snake Eyes. This is from, I want to say, the mid-2000s, but this is an awesome Snake Eyes figure as well. But this guy's better. And here's old school Snake Eyes. This is a body mold that was often repainted. And then this is the 2011 Pursuit of Cobra version, which I think is better. So if you want the better figure, get the 2011 Pursuit of Cobra version, 3.75. It's made better. It looks like it's painted better, in my opinion. But this guy's not too bad either. So, yeah, highly recommend this figure. I think it's between $12 and $15. I think I paid $15 for it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. I hope you guys are doing great. There's a look from the back one more time. And God bless you all.